it seems that AI has essentially taken over.
The way the SERPs looks is changing, and it's always changing. But the big thing for SEO is it's pushing all those organic results down.
Most of your business, or pretty much all the business, is coming through Twitter, which is now also since been rebranded to X. Have you since expanded to other markets and other channels to generate leads? And I'm guessing you're now probably getting a lot of word of mouth and things like that as well.
Yeah, word of mouth is huge. I mean, I'd say half our business is referrals. You know, the number of followers you have on social media doesn't matter anymore. The feeling you get when you make money by doing nothing is just out of this world, right? Like you just get a Slack notification. Oh, new client, right? And you know, our revenue last year increased every month, you know, for 2023. Every month we were new record. So, you know, truthfully, I still haven't experimented with paid ads. So if you can believe it, I've run this business, built it to 7 figures. I've never run paid ads at all for lead generation. And I quoted one guy actually recently about 20,000 a month for his SEO campaign. So
have you been using AI much in your business since we last time spoke?
Yes, I have started. And, you know, in business, things change, right? For every business, there's always change. And the guys who don't innovate are the guys who get crushed in the end, right? If you're not trying to innovate your business with AI, I mean, you're going to be screwed.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another interview episode where I'll be speaking to a guest that we haven't seen on the channel for about 2 years exactly already. A guest that has been building a SEO agency in the background and at the forefront of SEO Twitter and kind of money Twitter, now money X, if you want to call it that. His agency has been able to grow from 0 to 6 figures in the first 18 months and now is scaling all the way to $1 million a month in the next couple of years. Please welcome to the show, Keval Shah, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey Charles, thanks for having me again. I know we were talking. It's funny. It's almost exactly 2 years since the last time we sat down. It's crazy how fast time flies.
No, it really is. And it's also crazy to see how fast kind of things have progressed as well, right? Because it seems that AI has essentially taken over from everything that we essentially talked about last time. And that there's literally been kind of a massive change in the industry to an extent where kind of the entire industry has just been upended. And even to an extent now where a couple of the agencies and stuff that we were even talking about last time have kind of gone bankrupt and things since then, right? With like niche website builders going out and a couple of the other big agencies going out. It seems like there's been some serious changes since we last kind of talked.
Yes. I mean, the SEO space it has changed a lot, especially with, you know, obviously the SGE is going to be coming out here, you know, we don't know exactly when, but I think it'll probably be here by the summer, right? But in general, the SERPs, the way the SERPs looks is changing, and it's always changing. But the big thing for SEO is it's pushing all those organic results down, right? So there's a lot of things you have to kind of combat with that SEO real estate kind of shrinking. So we have to be a little more careful with you know, keywords we target and stuff like that to effectively, you know, drive more organic growth.
Yeah, and all the SERP features as well being added and kind of taking away everything, right? And all these zero-click searches kind of increasing and stuff, and as they have been for like the last kind of decade or so, really.
Yeah.
So how have the last couple of years looked for your business specifically?
The last couple of years have been really good. We've just been getting a lot more kind of consistent with the results that we're delivering. We've been consistently bringing on more and more clients every month. We've definitely grown. I think since like 2 years ago, I think we're probably up around 50 to 60% in revenue or so compared to that year. So things are a lot better. I think the brand in general has grown, and we're really kind of like found a little spot, or kind of squared out our own little spot in like the e-commerce SEO space. We kind of have our own you know, our own kind of authority that we sort of built there. People know us as kind of the go-to e-commerce SEO brand or SEO agency, right? And yeah, I mean, it's kind of business as usual. It's continued to grow, and we've continued to optimize, right? I've tried to, you know, pull myself out of the business a little bit, right? But at the same time, you know, when I got into this space, I didn't come into it as an entrepreneur. I came into it as an SEO, and I learned how to be an entrepreneur. So as much as I hire and delegate and build processes and stuff, sometimes I can't just help but do some of the SEO stuff too and help build out campaigns and stuff because it's fun for me, right? That's how I got into it. So it's kind of, working on balancing being the CEO of the company, but then also kind of having some fun too and actually doing some of the SEO stuff, which I'm sure sounds kind of psychotic to some people, but I do enjoy building out the campaigns and stuff from time to time.
Yeah, no, I understand and agree. I was talking to somebody the other day as well, where we were basically saying that as an SEO and as an SEO business owner, you essentially don't have a work-life balance a lot of the time, right? And
Yeah.
we need to kind of force ourselves to kind of go outside and touch some grass occasionally and things and actually do some real stuff, right? And I think that that's a credit to you as well that you've been able to kind of build up this team and this organization and also have a real life as part of it as well, right? And kind of
Yeah.
start traveling hopefully as well soon, as we said last time as well. So last time we spoke as well, most of your business or pretty much all the business is coming through Twitter, which has now also since been rebranded to X. I was wondering,
Yeah.
have you since expanded to other markets and other channels to generate leads? And I'm guessing you're now probably getting a lot of word of mouth and things like that as well.
Yeah, word of mouth is huge. I mean, I'd say half our business is referrals now,
Yeah.
right? We obviously still get a lot of leads from Twitter X, right? Whatever you want to call it. Lots of referrals come in every month as well. But with all the changes from Elon and Twitter obviously rebranding to X, I mean, we've seen the algorithm change a lot, right? The posts that would do well a year or 2 years ago don't necessarily do well anymore. And really the landscape of social media in general has changed. I read an interesting post a couple days ago where someone was just like, the number of followers you have on social media doesn't matter anymore because across all channels, it's not so much about how many followers you have, but just the quality of your content. Because if your content is good, it gets shown to everyone, right? It gets shown to your followers, it gets shown to other people who could be interested too, right? But if your content sucks, it gets shown to no one, right? That's kind of the double-edged sword there, where it's like, you could get incredible reach with very few followers, or you could have millions of followers and get no reach at all, right? So with the change of the algorithm and just the change of the X landscape in general, it was definitely a wake-up call to me about 6 months or so. And I realized that just relying on one platform is not a good idea. You can't do that for a business, right? You can't put all your eggs in one basket. I think when you first start off, it's important to focus on one platform because it takes that effort, right, to really grow on one platform. But then as you grow and you build your business and you get some stability, you need to start investing in other channels, right? So I've started investing in LinkedIn growth. I'm planning on starting some YouTube stuff too. And it works well with X, right? Because I mean, the way X is going, I mean, video content performs really well on X now. So you create a YouTube video, you put it on X, you put it on YouTube. Text content you post on X, you can just cross it over to LinkedIn, right? It's all kind of the same. It doesn't take any effort, right? I mean, aside from paying some people to like your posts and stuff so you grow a little bit, because that's kind of the hack with social media. So yeah, a lot of leads still through, I guess to kind of sum it up, a lot of leads still coming through X and Twitter and referrals and stuff, but we're working on bringing some other marketing channels. Oh, and email marketing too has been really big. As crazy as it sounds, I think when we last spoke, I wasn't sending any emails at all, but we have like a flow. I send emails, get leads from there too. So it feels more like a business now compared to 2 years. Every year, it feels more and more like a business, which is good.
Yeah, it's a proper lead funnel now, rather than just kind of having like random lead flow from different sources and things, right?
Yeah.
So it's more consistent and things.
I remember actually when I spoke to you last, I don't know if I talked about this so much in the interview, but I didn't really have a content strategy for X or Twitter. It was kind of just I just posted whatever I wanted, right? And I would post client results and I would just kind of post whatever. But it's a little more structured now, the content. There's a little more like intention behind some of the stuff I post. Whereas before I would just, post a picture of my Gucci flip-flops and be like, Hey, look how far I've come.
I do think there is something to be said when you're earlier on about just posting randomly and
Yeah.
seeing what works, just like picking up on like if the Gucci flip flops do hit, they do hit, like it's one of those
Yeah,
things, right?
they hit,
Like,
they
yeah,
hit, right?
exactly, right. But you don't know that until you try stuff, right? And if you're so regimented and like routine at the beginning, you don't
Yeah.
actually experiment and try with different things and stuff, right? Which is I do kind of recommend you do try at the beginning, but then once you are at a certain level, you want consistent growth, and to achieve that, you have to have consistent input as well, right? So I definitely agree with that entire thing. So in terms of your kind of selling SEO services, I know last time you were saying that you'd hired a sales guy or you partnered with a sales guy, and you had essentially stopped doing a lot of the calls yourself, or you'd just been jumping on the calls yourself or something. And
Yeah.
then you'd essentially been able to double your lead conversion rate and things by doing all of this additional steps and things, right? I don't know, has it gotten easier to sell SEO services? Has, with the current economy and stuff and AI and things, has it gotten harder, or how have you
Yeah.
found selling SEO services?
Yeah, so I feel like, so if that was 2 years ago, I think that salesperson might not have ended up working out. So then I think what ended up happening was that I started taking on the sales again. But the last 6 months I have a new salesperson,
Okay.
and he's absolutely fantastic. I haven't taken a sales call in like really long time. And I remember it was something because I talked to Nathan Gotch a lot, and I remember he kind of pushed me to like get a salesperson again. He was just like, Keval, like, the feeling you get when you make money by doing nothing is just out of this world, right? Like you just get a Slack notification. Oh, new client, right? And he was right. So brought on a new salesperson, got used to that, and it's it saves me a lot of time, right? Not having to jump on, as like a business owner, it's like if you're on Zoom calls all day, like who's running the business, right? So it's helpful that I have a really good salesperson. In terms of selling SEO, um, I can't say that it's been that much different, honestly, from even like a year ago. Like it's been like more or less the same. I mean, revenue, our revenue last year increased every month, for 2023. Every month we were new record, new record, new record. So it was things looked good. We'll see how this year, goes, but last year was definitely like it was our best year by far in business. And in terms of selling SEO services, I talked to a lot of people about like whether you should use paid ads for SEO or whether you should build a brand for SEO and stuff. And truthfully, I still haven't experimented with paid ads. So if you can believe it, I've run this business, built it to 7 figures. I've never run paid ads at all for lead generation. And whenever I tell people that, they're kind of like stunned because paid ads people just see as such like an integral part of running any kind of business, right? But the thing is, like, I think with SEO, and I could be wrong by this. This is kind of my hypothesis. This is why I never really did paid ads. It's like SEO is really something that, you have to be ready for because it's an investment. And they got to trust you too. I mean, the SEO industry is filled with so many scammers, like so many people, bring on the client, run them for 6 months, take their money, and they get nothing for it. And there's a lot of different ways that scam looks, right? I mean, there are some people, some agencies where they literally get nothing, right? No traffic increase, no keyword ranking increases. And there's some agencies where, they send a bunch of traffic to the site, say it's an e-commerce brand, but it's all top of funnel traffic. So what it doesn't really do them much good, right? So in general, like the SEO space, people are very hesitant to get involved in SEO. But I think with the brand that I've built and the case studies that we have, the authority that we have, the testimonials that we have, people who get on calls or book calls with like my sales team, they're pretty warm leads and that they know who I am and they know the results I can drive. And we've done a really good job setting up like a funnel that, takes people from case study to case study to booking the call to another case study to more social proof and stuff, right? So when people get on the call, they're almost pre-sold and they're just really looking for the pricing. So we've been closing. I know this is kind of a long way to answer this question, but we've been closing at a pretty good rate, and I think it's just because of the brand that I built.
And now for a quick message from our sponsor, Search Intelligence. If you're looking for digital PR campaigns, what you're about to see should impress you.
What a crazy campaign. How to sleep on your back. This campaign got us links in Huffington Post, Glamour magazine, Mirror, and lots of other great news publications. Let me show you how we've done it. It was so simple. Our sleep client provided us with expert commentary about how to train yourself to fall asleep on your back. They also gave advice on why it's best to sleep on your back. Once we've had this information, we went to Muckrack and searched for journalists that consistently write about sleep and well-being. We've sent these journalists the advice provided by the client, and within 1 day the links started flowing in. Glamour magazine, a DR81 website, picked it up. Huffington Post, DR88, Mirror UK, DR90. A massive avalanche of links blasted to our client's website with this simple yet effective campaign about how to sleep on your back. I hope this inspires, and I hope you'll use this technique to land massive links to your or your client's website.
It's the trust element, right? So people immediately, like customers, trust you. It's the opposite of like cold leads and cold outreach and stuff, where you have to build that relationship and build the trust. They're immediately coming on the call with kind of a predisposition to trust and believe in you already, right? So that's just power in of itself. So when you're selling the SEO services, you were previously, and I'm pretty sure you started doing package services, right?
Yep. We would different packages and stuff.
Okay, so since then, I believe last time you had 4 packages. It was, or 3 packages, 2K, 3K, 5K, and 10K a month was the packages last time, I think.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, those are the packages last time.
Okay, have those changed, and have you got bigger packages now? Have they updated pricing?
Yeah, I mean, the packages are sort of similar. We've increased the pricing a little bit. Now I think the 2K month package is gone. We don't want anymore. It's more like 3,200, 4,200, 5,200, and then we have like a 7.5K, and then we have like a 10K package, basically. And honestly, like I quoted one guy actually recently about 20,000 a month for his SEO campaign. So that might be a new package that we're going to start rolling with here for some of those, big sites. But, truthfully, we're a boutique agency, right? We're a small team. So there gets to a point where I don't even know if we could deliver it, right? I was kind of talking to this guy. I was like, we can try a 20K month package, but like I was just transparent with him when I was kind of talking to him. And I was just like kind of like over the DMs and stuff. I was just like, we could try this type of package, but like, to be honest, I don't even know if we're built for it. The agents, I don't even know if we're built for it. Cause like, I mean, that's a lot of content. I mean, we're putting out, geez, how many pieces of content do we put out? Probably like 200, 300, 400 articles or something like that a month. I don't know exactly, but we have a lot of content we're putting out. So a package that big might kind of detract from the work we're doing for other clients. So we can't go too big because we don't have that scale yet, because we like kind of being that smaller boutique style agency.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because I've worked with agencies in the past where they've either tried to, or they actually have onboarded massive clients. And I'm talking, $50,000 a month clients, and they're an agency with 4 people, right? So they've now got to go and hire people. They've got to onboard new tools, contractors, subscriptions, all this kind of stuff, right? And if that client leaves at any point, all of that stuff now has to go with that client, right? And you potentially signed up for 12-month contracts for tools. You've hired people on a 12-month basis, things like that, right? And so those costs are massive if you do lose that client. So the risk there is huge. So I think that it actually is kind of a service to your business and service to you, that you de-risk that element, and that you're not putting people's jobs on the line, or putting even the agency's cash flow and stuff on the line, right? I think that speaks volumes to kind of the character of the business. So from there, are there any new tools and stuff that you've been using? Obviously, last time we were talking, it was just mainly Ahrefs and kind of some sheets and stuff. Are there any new tools and stuff that you've been using since? Not even just SEO necessarily.
We've been using low fruits a little bit, but honestly, we've kind of you can kind of do low fruits just manually. Like, you don't really need to use it. You can kind of do it on your own, but we use low fruits every now and then. We actually stopped using Surfer SEO recently completely, because I'm not a big fan of Surfer SEO anymore, to be honest. It's just like, it's so you get a keyword, right? You plug it into Surfer, and all it does, right, is it just helps you mimic the pages that are ranking at the top, right? But I think what that does is you lose the core element of fulfilling the intent as good as possible, right? Because there are like question keywords and hyper specific keywords where when you search them, you get these ultimate guides, right, that are ranking. And like you could outrank those ultimate guides just by writing a more hyper-focused article, right? But a tool like Surfer is telling you to create this 4,000 word article on, how to tell, like how to translate Celsius to Fahrenheit or something like that, right? Like something simple. So we actually got rid of Surfer completely. And, our content team and our writers are trained on more specific, like kind of our own processes, and they get like really, really good results. So got rid of Surfer. Yeah, so low fruits, answer the public. I got rid of answer the public. I don't use that as much anymore. We've been doing Zapier, like Zapier has been great. We've been automating a lot of things with Zapier, especially like with the onboarding and stuff like that. Just like, from onboarding call book to getting the Trello cards mapped out to assigning it to the right team and stuff. So I've been spending a lot of time just like automating things and just making things more efficient. And then for processes and stuff, I've been using Process Street, which has been great just to, keep team members kind of in the know with how to do things. I mean, that's really been a big thing with the business the last 2 years, has just been making it just more efficient, right? Making everything flow a lot easier, making sure team members are trained better. Because if you don't have that, I mean, you're just really just kind of on thin ice, right? When you have like 50, 60 clients that you're working with, right? If team members aren't trained properly, if they don't have the right processes in place, you run into a lot of trouble. So yeah, last 2 years, spent a lot of time hiring and just getting all that stuff sorted out.
Yeah, and even to the onboarding as well. If you can have all that training, so that when you do hire a new hire, the onboarding and stuff is so much quicker because they don't have to, play 21 questions every day with you and things, right, and stuff like that. I've also run into an agency before that had a bit of a kind of weird business model where essentially each individual SEO in the team was responsible for their own clients, rather than it being like a team project. It was like each individual SEO had their own clients, and they were effectively their own account manager as well. But that then led to what happened was some clients with this SEO, because this SEO is really good, got amazing results, right? But then with this SEO, got mediocre results because he's not very good, right? But that then leads to an inconsistency in results across the agency. So I think when you do have consistent training, a consistent team, and a team that is cohesive, and also to credit as well, has done multiple projects together as well, already to this extent, you've had success stories across the board with different clients. That then leads the entire team to basically be significantly better at their own job and easier at their own job as well. So kind of talking about jobs and things, let's talk about how they're all going to be taken away from us, right? Have you been using AI much in your business since we last spoke?
Yes, I have started. And I hate to say it, but there was a time where I tried to ignore it, right? I tried to say, oh, I don't need all this stuff, right? But the fact of the matter is that, like, in business, things change, right? For every business, there's always change. And the guys who don't innovate are the guys who get crushed in the end, right? If you're not trying to innovate your business with AI, I mean, you're going to be screwed. Like, there's just, it is what it is, right? So, we're still kind of playing around with how to, more efficiently use AI to, I guess, make our SEO process more efficient. We're not using it for content. I know a lot of people are having a lot of success with AI content. We just prefer not to use it for clients, for my own projects and stuff like that. Sure, whatever, right? But I think with AI content, it's really interesting because, like, we've seen people see amazing growth with it and achieve like really great results. But there have been cases where people tank, right? Some of the AI content just tanks, right? So it's like when we're working with businesses, there's just too many unknowns for us to use AI content. But I do like using AI for like keyword research and building like the topical map for like a content strategy. That's actually been great, right? Just simply asking, ChatGPT, or even plugging in a page for ChatGPT and being like, what's a keyword someone would search to find this type of page if you're like going to be upgrading a page, right? To make it better. Or like you can ask ChatGPT, what keywords do people search when they're trying to learn more about like weighted blankets or something like that, right? And you'll get a lot of really good suggestions because, as like, I mean, tools like Ahrefs, I mean, they don't have all the keywords, right? I mean, the database is the database, but it's not complete, right? I mean, I think there was like some study done. There's like 15, or there's like, I don't even remember the exact number, but there's a ton of new keywords that people are searching every single month, right? That Ahrefs has no clue about. And I've seen stuff like that. I mean, I have a client right now that we work with that's getting 50,000 clicks a month, right? And it's all from keywords with no search volume. So, you look at the Ahrefs graph on Twitter. Actually, I think I tweeted about this, or posted, I guess posted now. I posted about this on X, and Ahrefs said the client was getting 10,000 clicks a month, but they're actually getting 50,000 clicks a month because, we're hitting on those more untapped keywords. And Ahrefs shows like some of those keywords have no search volume, but like we're able to find opportunities with ChatGPT and stuff like that. So it's like, you should definitely be using AI in your SEO and continuing to experiment with it, because it's only going to get better and better. And I saw this one really interesting video. Matt Diggity, he like fed ChatGPT Google's entire like terms of service or something, or like their content guidelines.
Guidelines. Yeah.
Yeah, he fed the entire content guidelines in there, and then he had AI like kind of look over all of his content. So it's like, I mean, the sky's the limit with AI, right? I mean, you can experiment a lot with it, and it's very new. So I mean, you could kind of make your own discoveries with AI and figure out better ways to optimize kind of your own SEO processes. So yeah, sky's the limit.
Yeah, there's a very famous UK business guru called James Sinclair. He's only about 35 or something, but he's worth about $200 million. And he has a very good saying that you just reminded me of, where it's called, you either innovate or you evaporate, right? And I think that is a perfect example of this, where AI is kind of forcing innovation in people's businesses. And Microsoft kind of forced Google to innovate with AI, right? Because Google saw how big Microsoft were getting with ChatGPT and OpenAI and things. And they're like, holy shit, we need to use our own technology that we created to actually roll something out. And that's why we got SGE. And that's probably why we got SGE so early. And that's why it was so, kind of broken and things to an extent. I saw a post from Marie Haynes where she was saying that she Googled the best global leaders in history with SGE. And the first thing that SGE put was Adolf Hitler. It's the first one for the best leaders in history, right? And then number 3 was Mao Zedong from China, right? So it was just not really the epitome of perfect AI results from Google. So I would always put it down to, you have to innovate or you evaporate. And Google themselves have shown that recently, right? And I think that SGE, AI, all this kind of stuff is going to force a lot of people to have a serious wake-up call in the next couple of weeks and months.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be really interesting when it officially launches, right? Because I mean, half of SEO is going to be getting in the AI results then, right? I mean, that's where the clicks are going to be, right? Is the AI results. So it's going to be really interesting to see exactly what keywords are going to, force the generation of the AI results, which one won't. Like, I know those best, the parasite SEO, I'm sure a lot of that stuff it's already kind of starting to evaporate a little bit. And it's gonna tank a little more, I think, once SGE comes in, right? And even other transactional keywords, how do they handle it, right? Like, if you're searching for an individual product, is Google just going to show it in SGE, or are they going to let the organic stuff take it, right? So a lot of unknowns. Very interesting, but also kind of exciting too, right? Just for some change to kind of see how things kind of shake up, just because it's like it's such an opportunity, right? If you can get into the AI search results, I mean, that is like, you're just going to get a massive amount of clicks, I feel. So we'll see.
I also think it's the brand power as well, right? Because instead of having like Good Housekeeping or whatever recommend something, it's now Google's logo here and then Google themselves recommending you go and buy this product or go and do this product something. And I think that
Yeah.
brand power and that trust signal is going to be a lot significantly higher than if you are just sending them to like a parasite page or some random stuff like that, where it doesn't look very trustworthy. Whereas within the entire Google ecosystem, it seems more trustworthy than outside of it, right? So I think that's also going to play into it, yeah. And as an e-commerce agency, I think, as you said, where you're going to be gaming the FGE, if you can game it to be like for best hairstylist or best, what's it called, hair curler or something like that, and you're the e-commerce brand and you can put your brand number one and Google's recommending your brand, that's going to be massive, right? For sales and trust and brand building and everything, right? So yeah.
Massive. Yeah, no, it's a lot of opportunity out there. It is exciting too. But I think I mean, like you said, right, with that trust factor, I mean, this can make SEO even more effective, right? I mean, there's been a lot of, like we were kind of talking about earlier. I mean, the SERPs are changing so much. There's so many, ads and stuff pushing the real estate down that, let's face it. I mean, SEO has gotten a little bit less effective over the last decade, right? Compared to 10 years ago, right? Let's face it, the CTR is lower now than it was a decade ago, right? But this could be an opportunity for SEO to kind of come back, right? And really, really kind of reform into, having the same type of CTR as it did a decade ago, right? With SGE. So a lot of potential.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I appreciate you coming on again, and hopefully we can do another one, maybe not in another 2 years from now, maybe a bit sooner. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Is there anywhere else can find you online?
Yeah, you can find me on X at SEO Keval. I'm also on LinkedIn too, and I'm starting a YouTube channel right now. I think I have like a couple hundred subscribers there and a couple hundred connections on LinkedIn right now, trying to grow there. So, give me a follow on either of those three platforms, and yeah, learn a little more about e-commerce SEO.
Perfect. There'll be links in the description for that all down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.